And back to Fred. So here we move on, and he moves clearly from horrible things, the moaning of the wind, unknown abysses like death. He then transforms with hearing. It transforms where he hears a laugh. Once again, Fred is introduced through voice, and this time through laughter as well. And we go on for quite a little while about the laughing, the infectiousness of the laughing. Everybody else starts to laugh as well because it's contagious, as he says. So lots of repetition of laughter, laughed, all the way through here. So this thing that we picked out all the way through, laughter coming at a place of happiness and contentment. We bring in Scrooge's nephew's wife, Scrooge's niece in other words, who he earlier on dismissed with, "Why did you marry?" And he sees her here, actually for the first time, as pretty, exceedingly pretty. Again, that idea that the outside reflects the inside, same as we've had with so many people so far. Then it launches into the reason he's laughing, which is retelling the story of earlier when he encountered Scrooge. He's realistic enough to see that he is, as he puts it, not so pleasant as he might be, although, again, that's a little bit of understatement at the top. But his point is, his offences carry their own punishment, so I've got nothing to say against him. He suffers for it himself. As he says again, more generosity of spirit. I'm sorry for him. I couldn't be angry with him if I tried. Why? Because who suffers from it? He does. If he doesn't want to come and dine with us, he just misses out himself. And that's pretty much the attitude of Fred. It's a very positive, very generous spirited attitude, but also quite realistic at the same time. Then we go into a description of basically the fun that's to be had at Fred's Christmas. Something we've come back to all over again and again. We get his friend Topper chasing around Scrooge's niece's sister all the way through. Again, enjoying himself. Them laughing at his attempts to flirt at her. Then he carries on bringing up Scrooge again, saying he's not going to make him feel bad about himself. They start to carry on and enjoy themselves. Once again, we have songs coming in, Topper being the main singer here, and music being associated with Christmas once more. They start playing games. They play forfeits. They play Blind Man's Buff, a game where you have to go around and try and catch people while being blindfolded. And Topper is suspected of not actually being blinded because he's still chasing after the Scrooge's niece's sister and not bothering about anything else. So the fun just continues all the way through. We're reminded that Scrooge's niece on the next page doesn't actually join in with the games, but enjoys herself very much and is quite happy here. Really what we need to go to is down here where we can notice that Scrooge is discovered taking part in all of these games. His enjoyment of the situation absolutely clear. Now that's important, of course, because remember this is the party he was invited to and turned down. Okay, almost laughably to him. The ghost is pleased to find him in such a mood, he says. There's one last game comes in, yes and no game, where you have to think of something and go, and of course what happens is that Fred comes up with Scrooge. It goes through the idea of him being a savage animal and, the person you don't want to be around, something you don't want to be around, and somebody gets it, the plump sister gets it in the end. The joke comes through, yes, it's Scrooge. It's important to notice, despite what you might see in other film productions, there's no reaction from Scrooge here mentioned. He doesn't get upset by this, apparently. And once again, we get a second toast over here. Another toast to him, just like the Cratchits did, although this one's taken a little bit better. So, what do we end with? Scrooge and the impact on him. He becomes so gay and light of heart in it. The impact on him is huge. At this point, he's loving Christmas and begging to stay. The last bit of the section here is just where they're taken around a number of different places. It's worth looking at the comparison here. They're taken to sick beds where they're cheerful. This is a technique that that Dickens is using, where he takes a place of unpleasantness and difficulty and looks at the effect. Foreign lands, people in foreign lands feel close to home. Struggling men become patient in their general hope. Poverty becomes rich, obviously metaphorically. And then he mentions almshouses, hospitals and jail. Misery's every refuge. And in those, the blessing of Christmas is everywhere. So the point is made clear.